coming out hiking. So, missed church this morning. Should have went, but I was a little busy. But you're never supposed to be too busy to go to church. Anybody that goes to church, you know that. You go to church. I missed twice in a row. I usually go on Sundays only. Tuesdays, we have church on Tuesdays also. But what I'm trying to say is, never be too busy to go to church. Do as I say, not as I do, kind of thing, you know. And I've been up for, it looks like I just got up, but I've been up for a long time. Been out here hiking around, looking, checking out the woods, you know. That's what people need to get out more and get away from the cities. I know there's a lot of people watching these that live in the cities, live overseas, in you know, Italy and Spain. I've had people talk to me. Even it's a small channel, it's like 120 subscribers, and I thank you very much. I got a few extra subscribers over the week, this past week, about 30 or 40 or 50 maybe, I don't know. And I'm glad. It made me happy, so thank you very much. But I've had people message me from all around the world, as small as I am, and these bigger channels can't read all the comments. There's no way. But I can, because I only get 10 a week or so, 15 maybe. And a lot of these guys that comment, they'll comment and then they'll delete their comment, which is fine. Oh, after we talk a little bit. But yeah, I got a lot of people watching from India, which is strange. So small YouTube, you're making a YouTube channel. I think the India people, not all of them, not everybody's crooked. But we've been trained in the United States not to trust people from India, right? That's just the way we've been trained. All the scammers talk in the Arabic accent when they're speaking English. And that's just the way we've been raised, you know, the way it's been trained into my brain anyway. People from India, when you're talking to them on the phone, are usually up to no good. So I've got a lot of people watching from India, which is good. I can't read the comments. I translate it to English. I talk to people from Spain, Italy, and they all want to know. I see a deer. Sorry about that. There's a couple deer jumped up right at the end of my finger. Went right over the ridge there. A couple deer right over the ridge. Sometimes when I flip the camera, it cuts off my words. So anyway, thank you for the subscribers and the views. I'm gonna get to 1,000 one day. If I ever get to 1,000, I'm gonna have a giveaway. I'm gonna pick out 10 names out of the subscribers and give them away something valuable. So anybody that watches this, subscribe, and when I finally get to 1,000, I'm gonna have a giveaway to 10 people. So you know, your chances are pretty good to win, and it'll be something nice. I'll send it to you in the mail or whatever. So it's good to go to church all you can. It's good to be around like people that believe the same things you do. You know, I believe in Jesus, so I go to church around other people that believe in Jesus. If I'm around people that don't believe in Jesus all the time, I'm never going to grow. I'm never going to find ideas. If I'm wanting to learn how to I don't know, if I want to learn how to program a computer, I'm not going to, if I want to learn, if you want, I'm not only going to study books and read, which is a good thing to do. You can do that. But you're also going to try to find some people that know how to program computers and get them to help you. You know what I'm saying? And or if you're going to learn how to be if you want, because it's all about learning. When you're a Christian, you become a Christian. You don't have to learn how. You just got to believe in Jesus, and then you are saved. So, but then learning the rest of it, there's a lot more things to learn. You need to be around like-minded people. So it's good to go to church all the time. What else? It's hard to talk about church stuff because, you know, I make mistakes all the time, and I feel like I'm not good enough to tell somebody else what they need to do. But that comes out. That's a lot in different people. Different people try to preach. They want to preach or want to teach or they want to talk about Jesus, but they don't, because they feel like they're failing. And they feel like they're the worst Christian out there out of everybody. And what they say is not going to matter. Or it's hypocritical. You know, stuff like that. But if you're a Christian and you want to say something, go ahead and say it. Because I guarantee you, you're not the worst Christian. You're not the one that sins. There's always somebody else out there that messes up more than you. So don't be afraid to help somebody and tell them how it is. Even if it goes like, if I don't know, if you did something the day before, but you know better now, and you come across a person that needs help, and they're telling you about their troubles, and you say, in your mind, you're like, well, I just did the same thing yesterday, the same thing that they're crying about. I did it yesterday. I can't help them. I'm just like them. I got news for you. We're all just like each other. Everybody's just like the other one. None of us are perfect. Everybody messes up. And there's some people that mess up that doesn't mess up as much. There are some people, I know a few guys as pastors that's, you know, they set the bar up here because the life that they live that we see is good. We don't see any problems. We don't see any sins that they commit, but they know what they do. They know they're not perfect. And everybody's the same. You can't sin all the time and you got to strive to be better. No matter how good you are, no matter how bad you are, try to be better. Do better every day. One good thing to do is watch what you say. Watch your mouth, because it is the truth is what you say. As far as what you say is what's going to happen. If I say I call in work and I lie, I got a flat tire, I'm going to be late. Or I got a flat tire, I'm not coming in today, I got to get my tire fixed. Well, we've all done that. Now, how many of you guys have actually gotten a flat tire that same day, or just days following from that, because you spoke it? You said, I got a flat tire. You say, you know, a lot of times we speak stuff, bad things, when we're lying, because lying and bad things go hand in hand. So when you're telling somebody a lie and a few bad things in there in between to give your lie credit, that's when that day or the next day or a few days after, that's when the stuff happens that you were talking about. So you got to watch what you say. I only speak good things because it works that way too. I don't speak very many good things. I try to, but it seems like the bad things happen that I say, but never the good things. Well, the reason for that is I say way too many bad things. The bad outweigh the good when I'm talking, so you got to watch out about that. You know, just try to do good. Everybody sins. Encourage everybody. Try to make them feel good. Make sure if you got somebody that needs help, go help them. You know, do it for free. Don't charge them anything. I wish I had more time. If I had time and didn't have to work, I would do stuff for people all the time. I got some neighbors that need help. I got some neighbors right now that need tremendous help, and I wish I could help them, but I don't have the I can't, you know, I just can't do it. The Lord, they've been praying to the Lord, so we'll pray His will, and they get the help that they need, because it is a very serious matter. And there's always somebody else that's in greater peril, in a worse kind of situation than we are, you know. Been up here, these guys been logging up here, and I come up to check the property line and do a little hiking. And I'll talk about my dad. My dad just passed away Christmas, and he was only 71. He got pancreatic cancer, but he wasn't a religious man all of his life. He just worked worldly. He worked and he did everything he could do. He done good stuff, you know. When he got sick, he always before he got sick, he was always planning. He planned everything. He was a farmer, so he made plans all the time, planning how he's going to do this and that. And he never planned for death, because he never really saw it coming until he got sick. And when he got sick, he started planning for death. Now, I'm not saying that's the way everybody needs to do it, but it counts just as much. When someone gets saved on their deathbed, it's just as good as someone getting saved when they're 13 years old and going through their entire life as a Christian. The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. You serve. That's how the greatest will serve the least the greatest. And sometimes I envy some of these people that get saved right at the end of life, and they don't have time to commit sins between the time they're saved and the time they die. They don't even have to pray to be forgiven. They don't have to feel bad. They get saved, and they know they're going to heaven, and they pass away, you know, with no stain that you have to ask for forgiveness for. Now, I think that's good. I wish we all didn't have, when we got saved, there was no sins committed from then to the point of death. Now, there's no time to do many works in that time. But some people dying on their deathbed will do a lot of works just right on their deathbed by calling out for Jesus to help them and save them, and showing their faith when they had no faith at all the way up. Now, I'm not particularly talking about my dad at this point, but I've seen other people that are passing away. They'll call on Jesus to help them or save them, and the last couple hours of their life is very eye-opening on the amount of faith that a new Christian has when he first gets saved. It's just mind-blowing, actually, and that's a work in itself, and it shows the people around them how much faith you should have, you know. So this is a church video. It's church day. I love the Lord. I hope you do too. There's different ways to learn about the Lord. People like me, you know, that Duck Dynasty guy, that old fella on there, he's a good teacher. You're never going to agree with everything that anybody else says. You're never going to agree with everything I say. I don't agree with everything that I hear from anybody. And Phil Robertson, that's his name. I know a few guys that are pretty tough that would have never been saved in their entire life. Never even thought about God if it wasn't for Phil Robertson, because he's such a outdoorsy guy, and he don't adhere to the mainstream Christian rules that's been set up, not by the Bible, just by Christian faith and teachers and preachers over the years. He does it his own way, and I have never seen anything bad about Phil or anything to indicate that he's not saved or not a good preacher. He's always told the truth. He's always said what the Bible says. He never puts any extra words in. So people like him, and those boys there, they wear their hunting clothes into church, which when you go into the sanctuary, it goes back to like-minded people. When you go back to like-minded people, as long as you don't get into satanic rituals and you get into stuff that's not biblical, you can make your sanctuary holy. And as long as you dress holy, you cover up your skin. You're not flirting with your body toward anyone. You're just solely there to worship the Lord. That's when your sanctuary is holy. And Phil does a good job. And there's a lot of preachers on TV. There's this Chinese guy. His channel on YouTube's Real Bible Believers. I don't know if he may be Korean. Forgive me if you ever watch this, because I watch this channel a lot. Real Bible Believers. And they're King James Bible only. They only teach King James 1611 or the manuscripts. They don't go with these new Bibles, which the new Bibles, new translations are easier to read, but they do have differences in them. I think, in my opinion, I'll give you my opinion on that. Learn the Bible. I, in my own opinion, think you should read the King James Version first, because that version is the closest version to what was being taught back in back in 60 AD and 30 AD. Then after that, you can, if you want to get an easier Bible to read, you can get the NIV. I don't agree with the NIV, but it's easier to read. And then if you've already read the King James Version first, then you know when you read something in the NIV, if it's not the same as what the King James said, you know it's not correct. If you read the NIV first and then you read the King James, you're going to lean toward the NIV being correct. And there's a couple lies in the NIV. More than a couple. I don't remember where they're at, but they're in there. You can Google this stuff and find it out for yourself if you haven't. So do King James only. King James only. Now, I know I didn't preach anything out of the Bible today, but I hope that I encourage somebody. You're not the only one. I know there's suicides going on. There was last year a lot of suicides. Some murders going on around here. People being in trouble. You're not the only one. If you read this and you ever thought about suicide, you're not the only one. Suicide comes across easy for people to have an easy way out. It's not easy by no means to off yourself, but when you're dealing with such a great amount of stress and anxiety, the thoughts, when you lay down at night, I understand. When you lay down, you think, man, I could end my life and end all this. If it ever gets too hard, I can end my life and end this suffering. That's what a lot of people think about suicide. They think it's a way out, a way to stop their anxiety, a way to just get out of here and quit and not live anymore. But these people that have suicidal thoughts, you should really think about positive things. Think about the Lord. Even if the Lord doesn't reach down and do things directly in your life, He's the one that put you here. He didn't start all the bad stuff. He started all the good stuff. And there's good things out there for you. Just keep going. Don't try not to use suicide as the way out. Just get in an orderly fashion, do things orderly, and get somewhere where you can read and study the Bible, because Christians have suicidal thoughts also. And there are some suicides in the Bible, but these suicides in the Bible were over grief and sorrow, just like people have today, what I've been talking about. One fella done something he could never forgive himself for or live with, so he committed suicide, and we know that's Judas. Now, whether he went to heaven or not, I doubt it. But he did have time to repent, and he hanged himself, so we know he was sorry for something. But that's a tough one. That's been debated for a long time, and only God above. I mean, there was a man designated, had to be there to betray Jesus, and it just so come out to be Judas. It could have been somebody else, but God designated to be him. Now, why is that? We don't know. So, there's one. Saul committed suicide. King Saul. He was in battle, and he knew he was going to be killed. He didn't want to be cut up into pieces or tortured or anything, so he fell upon his sword and died there in battle. So battle scenes mostly are the way people committed suicide in the Bible. When you know you were going to die and it was going to be a horrific death for you to live. I have no doubt that Saul went to heaven. Saul was anointed by God, He followed God at first, and then he fell away from the Lord, and was actually a demon came and pushed him in certain ways, and he tried to murder David a few times, and the demon tormented him. But in the end, he knew God. He done righteous first. He fell away. Jesus went down into hell where Saul was. When Jesus died, he went down to where all the people were in paradise, bad side and good side, and he preached to them, and it says many believed. So I believe Saul, he was down there too. He knew the Lord and knew the miracles, and he probably believed Jesus, I imagine, and came out with him. You got to think about that. All those people that died before the Lord came were in this place, and when the Lord came and was killed, put on the cross, he died, and he was gone for 3 days. He wasn't exactly dead. I guess his body was dead. But he went down into Hades, into hell, Gehenna, whatever you want to call it, paradise, and he went down there and taught those people that had already died, that never had a chance to believe upon Jesus. So God's fair. He sent him down there so that he could go down. Sent Jesus, went down there to preach to those people, and says many, not all believed. I don't know why, but I guess some people are just, just evil through and through. And now these people were already dead. These people that Jesus went and talked to were already dead, and the stories they had heard about the afterlife, they were in it. They knew these people that had died before Jesus were in the grave in Gehenna, in paradise, good side or bad side, in the sides of the pit, or however you want to say it. So they knew they were in the afterlife. They knew where they were at. So that brings up the question, well, why didn't they believe Jesus was Jesus? Because if you're an atheist and you didn't believe in God or nothing, and you just thought when you died, that was it, you ceased to exist. Well, when you pass away, back then, and you wake up and you're in paradise, good side or the bad side, then you're gonna be like, wait a minute, I'm in paradise now, so the afterlife must be true. And then Jesus comes and he's saying, listen, I'm the Son of God. If you believe upon me, you can be saved. I have no doubt that he preached the same messages that he preached when he was here. He's going to be like, I created this place, and I created the heavens and the earth and all this stuff. And it says many believed and were set free, I guess, but some didn't. So that's a strange thing to think about. Some of those people that were in paradise didn't believe Jesus. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good Sunday. I'm getting off here. I'm going to try to make another electrical motor. A really better one this time. Something a little bit better. Those electric motors are hard to make from scratch. So have a blessed Sunday. Do something good for your neighbors. It's cold out. Make sure everybody's got heat around you. Don't always think of yourself. So, bless you in Jesus' name.